Welcome to the news. To present it, my name is Jessie Jongwe. The headlines. Two Mufumwe residents groups fight over DC position. Mutendera's Chutukuku Primary School management accused of enrolling pupils on corrupt grounds. Lekili bus turns into ashes, all passengers survive. UPND's Trevor Mwinde calls for calm among the youths as they wait for jobs. Kelvin Kaunda describes Lubinda's acting PF president appointment as illegal. And other news in detail. Two groups of Mufumwe residents in northwestern province have clashed on account of who occupies the office of the district commissioner following the change of government. This comes barely a few days after Republican President Hakainde Hichilema terminated the contract of newly appointed District Commissioner Patrick Kalemba following several protests from some UPND protesters who accused him of being a Patriotic Front PF member. Mr. Kalemba's appointment was short-lived as he was replaced by Elijah Mnyope 3 days ago. However, it has emerged that some Mufumwe residents and the previous DC sympathizers on Monday morning rejected the new DC's on account that he does not have the blessings of the majority of Mufumwe residents. They have in a dramatic turn of events demanded the reinstatement of the fight DC. Meanwhile, some residents in Lusaka's Ntendere compound have protested against what they call corruption taking place at Chitukuku Primary School surrounding the enrollment exercise. Speaking in an interview with Muvi TV News, William Kamanga has alleged that management at the school is conniving with some unscrupulous persons to charge parents cash amounting to 500 kwacha per space. They have called on government to quickly get involved and address the matter. However, school authorities declined to comment on the matter. A police recruitment who recently completed his training from Nsondela Parliamentary School has been reported dead barely 4 hours after his pass out. It is believed that the officer was assaulted by a taxi driver and then ran over by an oncoming vehicle. Sources have named the victim as Benadi Munguswe, who went on a drinking spree in Kafowe with his fellow recruits, only identified as Pombu.
Yichiga uli Paul machine. Pepe ni moto ya mumo. Ali bona mabu ningaje kufatanya kujata uko.
Waraga peace ganunga kamoto gayi agaliwa.
Mata ibwa. So waliwote kali ibaga imota wote ka waluse kumwe ina kwajisi. Kambo acha bona waindiri.
Cha nyamata ya oge sitika imigira mubi nimya imanda ngaya na imigira katubuya kwamba olabyo reality eji kintu kyajitika wana tijabya so umuntu wa punka yoyo mwenzu umwa ali bede tika imma amana kuimma kalanga ura mizira awabika basana kunga if possible na unga ku police yamba kufa wana kuinga ku police kumonze mizira wa 6 km nasi kaya kwamba ku police wamba kuti dapunga hii dapunga muntu yeye jajitika wano tija tukomania swe wono tukara wano kamontenda hiba wano onse kaitukomania ngo ino kuindira aukana na tulombe baranganya road kuzwa kujisekese kusikira kumoze tuchisibo mahampo mayondo so turaromba kuti arusangu Jackson kamboka kuti kuri chikoro chiriko kuya ku university abatubikire mahampo awara amachinga batubikire mahampo kambo intenda achitika mbanji bana bokwe suba hwano atara kumya moto ino turombe bantu bendere road baranganya road ikwamba kuti abatubikire mahampo turombabe we abatubikire mahampo awa ino bantu bakaunga bakwana 4 ari arusangu Jackson almost 8 to 10 so turomba bantu kwamba kuti ari arusangu Jackson yakaba busy road kambo kati kuri university kuya iliwo so baranganya road abatubikire mahampo I beg, please.
Apologies for not warning sensitive viewers over that clip. Ruling United Party for National Development UPND Deputy National Chairperson Trevor Mwinde has called on the youth across the country to remain hopeful. The leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema has it means well for the nation. Speaking when he featured on Muvi TV's The Assignment program on Sunday evening, Mr. Mwinde says his party is fully aware of the challenges they are facing and says that President Hichilema is equal to the task in line with what he promised during his campaigns. Mr. Mwinde says Mr. Hichilema's vision may not be achieved immediately, but by the passage of time.
A commodity that which puts your country on the flag. We are not looking for haphazard mining arrangements where only a limited family has always been benefiting from since time immemorial, from the days of independence up to now. You have got only known families that which are mining. And then let me also put you on the spot. The president has also put on the spot when he was speaking to the permanent secretary, Minister of Tourism. He said that go in, he was talking to Comrade, if I'm not mistaken, Evans Muhanga. Yes, he was saying, go in there and make sure that you clean up the mess that which has been monopolized by a lot of people. We have got people that were now even turning out to be like more political than us first generation citizens. People owning guest houses, lodges in these national parks, and even when they are paying the monies are being externalized. The monies, their accounts are quoted in dollars, they are quoted in pounds. The money does not come in the national coffers. So look, the president now says, you are able to open up a hunting concession because you are a citizen of this country, which was never there before. We are the big names of Indian families, that which were sitting on the tables, that which were making decisions. We even saw for the first time ever since I was born. We even saw a lot of cadres shamelessly. I have an Indian man I've been seeing who is lame like this, he limps. He was moving head and nose with His Excellency Edgar Chagwarungu. We're not demeaning His Excellency Edgar Chagwarungu. We want him to enjoy his retirement. The man did a great job for this country. According to what he could do. So now we have tourism, that which has been given to the youths. We have an opportunity where the president says, even the construction industry, where Cassava Bay will be funded, there will be a lot of construction in the northern corridor, in Kasama, whereby the president is saying, we will encourage youth involvement in acquisition and the delivery, service delivery in line with the same. Not only that, Mr. IP. Mr. IP, we have also been encouraged that His Excellency mentioned aquaculture. Aquaculture, that which will generate economic value and will also extend the knowledge management levels in terms of the youths having to know another industry. You know, we had always the traditional concept. Muzagalima, amulima mbuto bwanja iya ipioneer, amulima mbuto bwanja iya ipana, o zamseed sidiko. Lomba pano dadi. We want to have a systematic manner of which the fish industry can be promoted to another level.
Right.
We want to see a plant where fish is being packaged on Lake Bangweuru. We want to see a plant, a Zambian company, where fish is being packaged on Lake Mweruwantipa. We want to see a Zambian plant where this, what do you call this one, booger fish, is being packaged on Lake Tanganyika. We have had a lot of people that have come in the name of investors. We want to thank Comrade Fisher Mware for having run the Yalero business. Sure. It's not easy. We want to see many replicas of the type of Fisher Mware. We don't want to have a traditional fisherman. Okay? We don't want to have a traditional fisherman who just thinks of a boat, canoe, he finishes, he dries, says that, you know, ati nizapanga chitoyo yansomba sorted fish nizapeleka ukasumbalisa. No, we want to see a levels of competition where we shall compete with the countries that which boast of having a healthy fishing industry. Above that, The new Dawn administration, sir, has also brought about the opening up of farming blocks, which will be given, the president was precise, to the youth. Do you know why? We've always thought that farming is an agenda that which we can throw to people that have retired. It is the other way, because if we invested a little bit area in the line of farming, animal husbandry, and even just genuine general agriculture, crop science, you talk about sunflower production. If you do 5,000 bags of sunflower,
Council Chairperson Cliff Siachiweka has called on government through Rural Electrification Authority (REA) to extend their services to schools in the district which do not have power to facilitate computer lessons. Speaking in an interview in Sinazonga district, Mr. Siachiweka says a majority of schools in the district are not connected to the national grid when power generation at the Kariba Dam is just at the doorstep. Mr. Siachiweka adds learning of computer subjects in schools is proving to be a challenge, hence the need for government to come on board and see how school in Sinazongwe can be electrified. The government has noted with concern that most rural areas still lack information on how they can involve themselves in cooperatives compared to urban places. Speaking when he addressed the villagers of Muzio, Sinazonga District Commissioner Jimonia Siakole expressed concern on how people in rural areas have remained behind with regards to having information and how to start up business activities through cooperatives. Mr. Siakole states his office is flooded with records of cooperatives that only exist in Mamba and Sinazeze town, which have educated people with knowledge of how to come up with the said small business ventures. He has since called on ward development commitment to seriously help government in educating people in rural areas on how to identify business activities which they can engage themselves in so as to have equal distribution of empowerment fund both in rural and urban places when funds are immediately released. United Party for National Development UPND Lundazi District Coordinator Daudi Mbeba in Eastern Province has commended President Hakainde Hichilema for removing subsidies, which he says was only benefiting the rich citizens in the country. Speaking in an interview this morning, Mr. Mbeba says the hiking of fuel pump price by government was arrived at in an effort to improving the economy of Zambia as the previous government destroyed the country. He has, however, urged Zambians to support tough decisions government is making in a bid to revamp the economy of Zambia. On that note, we take a break. We still have more interesting items coming up after the break. Do not go away.
expert. Anyone can get lucky.
I woke up feeling great, need a kick for the day. Got a taste that is keeping me awake. Something fresh, something true, unforgettable, something new. I can trust as my interest all the way. So when I wake up, can't get enough.
What's the mistakes? They'll dominate the aerial ball. They too tall. We'll handle the pressure and smash them on the break. The number 9 has scored in their last 5 games. The passing will be quick, decisive, precise. There will be drama in the dying minutes. This match will mean more than 3 points. They will have the home ground advantage. This is why I bet. This is why I bet. This is why I bet. Betway.
The answer is yes.
Yes. She said yes! 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 She said yes!
Shawarma. Congrats, bro.
What?
We'll be there. Last Sunday of next month.
Ew, are you here?
You may give her the ring.
Everyone, say to feel life.
One day, I'll give you the world.
Oh, you already have.
Taste the fun. Introducing big flavors. Orange, cocoa pine, cola, ginger, apple, lemonade, and raspberry. Big soft drinks. Taste the fun. Big. Taste the fun. Big. Taste the fun. The fun. The fun.
For that prolonged break, we continue with the news. Senazongwe Town Council Chairperson Cliff Siachiweka has called on government through Rural Electrification Authority REA to extend their services to schools in the district which do not have power to facilitate computer lessons. Speaking in an interview in Senazongwe district, Mr. Siachiweka says a majority of schools in the district are not connected to the national grid when power generation at the Kariba Dam is just at the doorstep. Mr. Siachiweka adds learning of computer subjects in schools is proving to be a challenge, hence the need for government to come on board and see how school in Senazongwe can be electrified.
Senazongwe District Commissioner Chimunya Siakole took time to meet people of Muzio Village in Senazongwe District to discuss various developmental issues. One key issue Mr. Siakole highlighted was lack of development rural areas have continued to experience, which needs to be addressed. The District Commissioner expressed dismay that many villages in Senazongwe have zero information about cooperatives and how they can be formed.
kuti nali kujaniga imali twali kulombozya kuti ndiza district ekamutugasya kuno yabuyisya magana ama cooperatives ndazumina kuti tulishali demaningaze district kamboka ku office nkondibete kujaniga kuti kuli area byo council chairman yalumba maningo tuyabwenda yabuyisya yebo ino bamomi abanji baswa mamba area area balasiga amafawo abo ama cooperatives bavula but seningabwe nolomwe ozwako okuno kwa muzio pe seningabwe nolomwe ozwa ku side ku malima pe kola gati pawa so ndalombozya kuti council tuchila lwendo tuchila nzimuli mu party wakuti kuti bantu bakwanane kambo cha siga chakwabana kuti tiwakalile mbyatuko ono yamba kuti no memorandi pabuti ani zimizya kanjira kale mu system.
Senazongwe Town Council Chairperson Cliff Siachiweka also emphasized the need for villagers to be empowered with information on how they can be economically viable since decentralization presents such opportunities.
Improvement yabahaga inde ya New Dawn government. Tayandi bantu basikumba no ketebio. iromboza kuti vungwa muntu karanchachita nokuti kuchani nokuti kuchea through cooperatives pona ndambire limwa ngambe amba nanolamiswa ngane abantu kuli batachitejerede ba DC improvement yobasi yabo turobo iyosi yatabalisemu ndamba kuti kuli batachitejerani jerede pesi kuli batako chitajerede batako chitajerede bayeya kuti improvement ya UPN no bora bangwa bosyo nkamali munkomo
abobo chirede kuti mwaziba ma cooperative mbati yani bapangwa ikutoa mgaite benefit umali ili set aside u CDF eyo I chatikiza magani empowerment both women and youth.
And Gombe Valley must develop chairperson Winter Muvombo beyond high levels of beer drinking among young people in rural areas.
Jabi obasa o no wesu ko tukeda im problem umpali njinda jana go kuno numflumendi ibugo gwa indirizya tatuko sompoka pe tambo bantu banyoma gogo kuno tema dala pe bunji ba tisiwe borwe suba gama tumanzi tumayo
ona no numtendo tola bana kushigoro mwana wandwana kuiya mune wide noti mwana wasika 7 years tatari kushigoro 10 years tatari kushigoro mwana wautarika wa business atinenga ya kushita mwana wandwana kutieni ukuiya ni right yakwe orede kutieni ukuiya.
More stakeholder involvement in educating villagers on how they can get involved in income-generating activities, especially women and youth, so as to avoid people from urban areas dominating the list of beneficiaries of empowerment funds. Moya Mukomputa, Muvi TV News, Sinazongwe District, Southern Province.
United Party for National Development UPND Lundazi District Coordinator Daud Mbeba in Eastern Province has commended President Hakainde Hichilema for removing subsidies, which he says was only benefiting the rich citizens in the country. Speaking in an interview this morning, Mr. Mbeba says the hiking of fuel pump price by government was arrived at in an effort to improving the economy of Zambia as the previous government destroyed the country. He has, however, urged Zambians to support tough decisions by government making in a bid to revamp the economy of Zambia.
Electricity. And so we want to appeal to government through RIA to help us power these schools, and then so that these pupils that are in these schools are also privileged to learn other subjects like computers, you know, as it is very difficult. Very few schools are connected to power, especially in Mwemba Chiefdom. You will only find power up to Mwemba. And all the schools from Mwemba, Matambo, you go up to all the way to Kampondo, there is no electricity. And so we are.
Minister of Information and Media Chushika Sanda has emphasized that the new government is committed to ensure that the rule of law is upheld in Zambia and that democracy principles are enhanced. Speaking when officiating at the capacity building training for journalists and reporters on effective reporting on human rights issues organized by the Continental Leadership Research Institute, CLR. In Lusaka, the minister commended the initiative, stating that it will go a long way in highlighting a number of human rights violations, especially in rural communities, which includes the early and forced marriages of young girls.
Sustainable development goals seek to realize the human rights of all, and more than 90% of the targets directly reflects elements of international human rights and labor standards. However, the pledge to leave no one behind mirrors the fundamental human rights principles of non-discrimination and equality. Many countries are doing everything they can to make sure that no one is left behind when it comes to human rights. It is for this reason Continental Leadership Research Institute organized a capacity building training for journalists on effective reporting on human rights issues. And speaking when officiating the training in Lusaka Monday morning, The Minister of Information and Media, Chushka Sanda, emphasized that the new government administration is committed to ensure that the rule of law is upheld in Zambia and that democratic principles are enhanced. The minister adds that the only way the media can contribute effectively to this fight is through factual, objective, balanced and well-researched reporting.
I wish to state that the new Dawn government is committed to ensure that the rule of law is upheld in Zambia and that democratic principles are enhanced. To achieve this, the role of the media is critical to ensure that the voice of the people is heard through skilled and well-researched reporting. Government highly commends the initiative as it goes a long way in highlighting a number of human rights violations in our rural communities, which include early and forced marriages of young girls, domestic violence, gender-based violence, and harmful traditional practices. This project is therefore timely in supplementing government's efforts in addressing these and other social vices in our rural communities. I wish to remind the media that they can only contribute effectively to the fight through factual, objective, balanced reporting.
Speaking at the same event, United States Embassy Deputy Public Affairs Officer Julie Mellin notes that the new Dawn administration's commitment to promoting freedom of information and freedom of the press is commendable. Hence, journalists should take the lead in partnering with human rights organizations to investigate human rights abuses, hold leaders accountable, and ensure that accurate information is being shared with the public.
Journalists and human rights activists face the threat of violence or imprisonment for their reporting. No member of the press should be threatened, harassed, or arrested for doing their job. In fact, no person should be harassed, threatened, or arrested for speaking out against power or against injustices. President Hichilema has spoken many times proudly of Zambia's democracy and what a shining example the country's August elections and peaceful transition of power were on the world stage.
And Media Institute of Southern Africa, Mrs. Zambia National Director, Austin Kayanda, who was also in attendance, has this to say.
Human rights are universal. All people everywhere in the world are entitled to them. No one can voluntarily give them up, or others cannot take them away from him or her. There is no VIP in human rights. The animal farm slogan of some animals being more equal than others doesn't apply to human rights. The key to note also is that human rights are indivisible and therefore all have the right status to these rights. No human right is less than the other, and there is no hierarchy in these rights. It is also true that realization of human rights is interrelated or interdependent.
However, the realization of human rights requires every person's active and meaningful participation in contributing towards their enjoyment, and all individuals are equal as human beings are entitled to their human rights without discrimination of any kind. Margaret Chota, Muvi TV News in Lusaka.
United Party for National Development UPND Lundazi District Coordinator Daud Mbeba in Eastern Province has commended President Hakainde Hichilema for removing subsidies, which he says was only benefiting the rich citizens in the country. Speaking in an interview this morning, Mr. Mbeba says the hiking of fuel pump price by government was arrived at in an effort to improving the economy of Zambia as the previous government destroyed the country. He has, however, urged Zambians to support tough decisions government is making in a bid to revamp the economy of Zambia.
Understand that every progress, every improvement is hinged on money. Now, the UPND comes now with a method of how they can make this cash flow to be easy. Money should not be a problem with every person. Money should be easy to make. Money should be easy to find. Hence, Hakainde Hichilema, under his leadership, being an economist, he has realized that there are certain areas that the previous government have been doing which have been retarding the economic progress of each and every individual in terms of cash flow of this, the money flow. And this, you should bear in mind, all of you, that this issue of saying the price has gone up, there's nothing like the price has gone up. Prices have always remained the same, except for anyone who has got no money. It is possible that you can cry that the price has gone up. But for people who have got money, ask them if they are going to tell you that there was a time when the price went up. No, the price is going up because you have no money. And this is why Hakainde Hichilema has come up with the methods and the approaches to see to that money should not be a problem to access. Now, if we are going to follow his instructions, his governance, consequently, you are going to see that some of you people whose children did not have any jobs, when they will have gotten jobs, they will start giving you money, which you will be able to go and buy soap. At that time, you will not say soap is expensive. This is why Hakainde Hichilema is looking at critical positions. What must I do to fulfill those promises that the economy must improve? First of all, let us remove subsidies from areas where they do not mean anything. If anything, these subsidies were helping people who were already well-to-do. The most common person was not accessing anything. Just as good as the fish fertilizers today, if I can give as an example. Fish fertilizers, people think, government thinks that the most vulnerable people that ones who are benefiting. No! It's those people who are in civil service, those people who are well-to-do, who are always able to produce the 400 kwacha down payment, who are always ready to pay membership fee, who are always ready to pay handling fee. Otherwise, the most vulnerable people, they have also got the same people who have given them money. At the end of the day, they end up with a tin of fertilizers. And this cannot make the economy.
You are watching Muvi TV's Primetime News. We still have more news items coming up shortly after the break. I'll be right back.
Where's Bob? Anyone seen Bob? Has anyone seen Bob? Bob? Bob! Bob!
Over here.
Where?
Over here.
How did you get in there?
With my Airtel Money MasterCard.
Airtel Money MasterCard? But you don't even have a bank account. How did you get a card?
Well, it's not a card, but it works just like one. It's virtual, so no plastic, and it's safer.
But what are you doing there?
I want to buy Nancy a birthday gift, book my flight tickets, renew my Big Click subscription, and order a shipment.
For all things online, the Airtel Money MasterCard. It's not a card, but works just like one. Get one on the Airtel Money menu on your phone.
So here's how to pay using Airtel Money. Ensure your decoder is turned on and tuned to channel 1. Dial *778#, then select the option that says Make Payment. Select Pay TV, then select Muvi TV. Enter the 12-digit smart card number, then enter the amount you wish to pay. Enter the Muvi TV account number, omitting the dash before the last digit. Then select the amount you wish to pay.
For inquiries, call customer care on 0764 250055 or 0764 250052 or 0978 732 411 or 0978 732 412.
On the pitch of life, you've got to choose your game and who you play with. Your people. You get what I mean?
Oh, that is so true, Mr. Easy.
Because when you need a bit of support, there's the people you can count on. People who are there for you, no matter what.
Guess we are always here for them.
Choose who to play with.
With Bet Power, you can chat, message, or call real people round the clock. This advertisement is brought to you by Bet Power.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. The Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, says the prepositioned food and non-food items across the country has continued to help in mitigating various disaster-related issues. DMMU National Coordinator Dr. Gabriel Poland says his office managed to mitigate the disasters in southern province on time because of the prepositioned food and non-food items. Dr. Poland adds with the decentralization method of governance that the new Dawn government has adopted. The unit has empowered the regional and district coordinators with necessary materials to respond to disasters the moment they happen. Dr. Polen was speaking when he received a donation from AFRICA that is aimed at helping the people of Southern Province. Meanwhile, Dr. Polen says stakeholder participation in mitigating disasters is key in the fight against the various negative effects of climate change.
AFRICA hand over this wonderful and the grain quality is very good, very flint, doesn't easily get weevils.
From the onset, I wish to commend the private sector for partnering with the government in providing humanitarian assistance to people affected by various disasters. Generally, the private sector has been a key partner of government in ensuring sustainable development. We do recognize the donation today being made by AFRICA, and the fact that public-private sector partnership has been critical to sustainable development, not only from the perspective of disaster management, but also from the perspective of resource mobilization and ensuring that the government continues to work in a cohesive environment. Today I'm delighted to receive, on behalf of the government, a donation of seeds for the people affected by floods in Southern Province. Our partners have donated maize seeds, as you can see there. They've also donated cowpeas to help our farmers in the affected areas replant after their plants were swept away by the floods. As you may have seen in the media, Southern Province has in the recent weeks been affected by floods. The DMMU team from from over here, headquarters, recently just came back from Southern Province, and we have seen the scale of devastation from this flood, the unprecedented rainfall in a particular geographic region, and how that has impacted adversely on the farming community.
We are pleased to donate 10 metric tons of maize seed, which is early to medium maturing, and also 10 metric tons of cowpea seed variety Lutembe, which is also early maturing and also climate smart. We are also we are pleased to be part of the government's efforts in promoting and ensuring food security around the country.
Two groups of Mufumba residents in northwestern province have clashed on account of who should get into the office of the district commissioner following a change of government. This comes barely a few days after Republican President Hakainde Hichilema terminated the contract of newly appointed district commissioner Patrick Kalelemba after several protests from some UPND supporters who accused him of being a Patriotic Front PF member. Mr. Kalelemba's appointment was short-lived as he was replaced by Elijah Munyope 3 days ago. However, it has emerged that some Mufumba residents and sympathizers to the previous DC on Monday morning rejected the new DC on account that he does not have the blessings of the majority of Mufumba residents who have demanded for the reinstatement of the fight DC.
Theme as a political fight on Monday morning in Mufumbe district of Northwestern Province among the aggrieved residents. The fight is a sign of protest against the newly appointed Mufumbe district Commissioner Elijah Munyompe by government in less than 1 week. President Hakainde Hichilema last week terminated the contract of Patrick Kalelemba as Mufumbe DC following a series of protests and widespread allegations that Mr. Kalelemba was a PF member and did not deserve to work in the new Dawn government.
Makofi kuibararaura panekichi cha wamane mushingi bafwaye benauke bakana nchi muno mu mufumbwe mwetu bangika jibonse bena mufumbwe bakana mwanene kupera popona pera ba president
kufunya mjuba jarero nemo baonse etu yenka kareremba mwani atwajijire kuikara pa DC mwane kine ba president resai mupeshe mambo mana usomo na kunyicha wako alesa onkao mambo tata ba president mwane twakana kuitupa DC mukwabo wapita pe kareremba ni yenka kareremba twajire kuikara pa mwingiro yeba mpakwire sani anweba mwane kine twasansa po twakana mwane kine tumvai tuvirai rusa tuivana benu bangikajiba mukizera bakana ke twasakani.
In this new political episode, some Mufumbe residents claim the former DC was a better man than was accused by some UPND leaders to have him fired. Therefore, he must be brought back before lives are lost.
President, tuarusha tuimukeberenga ba president na mwikale pa president tanda yetu ikale mutende amuno mu Mufumbwe twana okeba mutende umufumbwe ke twana okeba makatajo kurwana bantu ne twana okeba mutende mwasajile twasala DC kareremba ba president twamuswawe mwana murume twamumona byubiro byanjiyo bijuke tukwasha mwino mpunja ya Mufumbwe ke ujipona rukata jurujiro nsene mwani kabiji twamana mananji mu UPND twamana mananji miaka ya vura lero jino wafika pa buntangi twaswa twikiswisha panoke twake barumfurunganyo mwino mpunja yetu ne twakana burui twake nani DC kareremba ekarepo twamuswisha ntanda yonse twamuswisha ke twamukana ne ababe na kuimana kumba jiwe na katu kuleta burui mumpunja yetu kebe na wakaba kuleta mutende mwino mpunja ne bena wakaba kuleta rukata jiro kwa mamba ino Mufumbo ke chike karepo mutende ne pano twakana twake bakuyapa rutwe mumpunja yetu kabijirero baiya bonka bena wakaba kuikara pa DC baiya na bana babo kuleta burui pa DC baiya kuleta burui pa office barara ne office bakupumanga ne baimena ne bamfumu.
Officers have since locked to restrain the newly appointed office barrier to resume work. The Mufumbe residents have since called on President Hakainde Hichilema to quickly intervene on the matter. Tasila Zulu, Muvi TV News.
We get to our sports story for tonight. An initiative to discourage drug abuse and early marriage through a local football league is being implemented in Senazongwe district. Gwembe Valley Master Developer Chairperson Winter Mavombo says his organization has come to a realization that the only way to eliminate teenage pregnancies, which are leading early marriage, is by initiating sports activities such as football, where locals can keep themselves busy. Muvombo explains the initiative also acts as a talent identification platform, while potential future football stars can be identified by Premier League clubs. He notes rural areas have a lot of talent in terms of different sporting discipline, which has remained untapped and identified because there is no platform where it can be showcased.
In Zambia have continued to remain behind in sports development like urban areas, which makes it easy for those talented in football and other sporting disciplines to be tapped or identified. Gwembe Valley must develop through its chairperson Winter Muvombo initiated a football league called People's Favorite League, which aims at identifying football talent and also act as a measure to curb alcohol abuse and early marriages.
Muzezwa weta bolo kuno twakabona maningi kamboka hindu hikitigo kuno kubwana kumana nkoli bamwe banjirana mu manda amazina twakataya kupana bya kutolia ujisi bamaga hindu bali 20 bamuga bantu so ezi zintu zianza twayanda kuti zicheche ina tweta mabola kamboka ku mabola ingusu zakutuka winke kuli muka muntu zirateni
kubona ibume bwa bora ibusumpugide tubona kuti ibora inga yinyina nchito pesi ila nchito ngambo twabona mujigo jesu cha Zambia ikuti kulibana iba kasumpuga imbuli bana ba Patson Daka bene Enoki Mwepu abo bana ndabamba bo wenga mbuli kuti nkuso bana pesi twabataliga bya mu Lusaka. I took part in that. Ibora alialo ila sumpula ibume wa muntu kuti twamba salary ya Patson Daka jino jindi nga twamba kuti nga ulaire kutusali na tonse ntwana muzio jino jindi on one salary kambo kazi kajipego jamao ena jipego yotajiko kuno nkojiri.
Officiating at the end of the tournament, Sinazongwe District Commissioner Chimunya Siakole says such initiatives will be supported by government as they aim at filling the gap that sporting association in Zambia have not managed to undertake.
Kambo zisobano zyama bola anoma zuba mbulimbo bali wamba bamwi zyeta mali zyeta lusumpugo aswebo tulalombozi kuti muno mwamuzio kuti twabandi swengutulanga TV kuti ngulya kambo ngama talent nkwali chishupa nkwashita identify ino tulazi babuti muli chechi chichitika nachanda kuchitika sono.
The tournament playoffs, which were played on Christmas Day, gave locals some entertainment as Muzio FC secured third spot after beating Kembe FC 8-7 in an intense post-match penalties. The eventual winners of the tournament, Sabukululu, made sure that the game does not end in penalties as they beat Morizuma 1-0. Muya Mukomputa, Muvi TV Sports, Sinazongwe District, Southern Province.
We end the news on that note. A recap of the top stories. Two groups of Mufumba residents fight over a DC position. Mtendere's Chitukuku Primary School management accused of enrolling pupils based on corruption. Lekili bus turned into ashes, all passengers survive. UPND's Trevor Mwinde calls for calm among the youths as they wait for jobs. PF's Kelvin Kaunda describes Lubinda's appointment as illegal. Thank you so much for watching.